The Grand Hall of the United Nations General Assembly was abuzz with a mix of anticipation and unease. Delegates from across the globe murmured among themselves, their conversations a curious blend of skepticism and curiosity. The room, designed to host discussions of Earth's gravest concerns, had never seen anything quite like this. The walls, lined with flags of every nation, seemed almost mundane in comparison to the spectacle unfolding at the center of the room. The doors to the hall opened with a deafening hiss, and a contingent of extraterrestrial beings marched in with precision that made military drills look amateurish. They were tall, their silver-hued skin shimmering under the artificial light. Their attire was regal, adorned with symbols and flowing capes that suggested both sophistication and an overabundance of self-importance. The leader of this procession, the Grand Ambassador of the Zyxenari Empire, moved with an air of theatrical gravitas, his cape trailing behind him like a royal train. Earth's representatives watched in stunned silence, unsure whether to laugh or gasp. The ambassador stepped forward, his movements exaggerated, almost as if he were performing for an invisible audience. His voice, amplified by a translation device, boomed across the chamber. "Behold, humans of Earth, I am Grand Ambassador Kolzer of the Zyxenari Empire. I come not in peace, but in the name of justice and intergalactic order." A low murmur rippled through the room. The Secretary-General of the United Nations, a wiry man with an unkempt tie and an irrepressible penchant for sarcasm, leaned back in his chair, a bemused smile playing on his lips. "Well, this is new," he muttered, earning a few chuckles from nearby delegates. The ambassador, oblivious to the undercurrent of humor, continued his speech with fervor. "For centuries, the Zyxenari Empire has watched your primitive species with curiosity. We extended our hand of guidance, offering you a place among the stars, but you have insulted our protocols and mocked our traditions. This cannot stand. Therefore, as of this moment, the Zyxenari Empire formally declares war on Earth." The room fell silent for a beat before erupting into a cacophony of whispers and gasps. The Secretary-General, unfazed, rose from his seat and adjusted his microphone. "Thank you, Ambassador Kolzer, for that inspiring performance. I must admit, we weren't expecting such flair. Are you sure you're not auditioning for a galactic talent show?" Laughter rippled through the assembly, and the ambassador's face twisted in confusion. "This is no laughing matter," he roared, his voice echoing. "Your mockery only confirms the necessity of our actions. Your species is unfit to exist within the galactic order." The Secretary-General feigned a thoughtful expression. "Unfit to exist?" Strong words, though if I may point out, our primitive species does have a rather impressive track record of surviving invasions, rebellions and reality TV, so you'll understand if we're not exactly quaking in our boots." The ambassador's frustration was palpable. He turned to his entourage, speaking in hurried whispers before addressing the assembly again. "Your insolence knows no bounds. This is why we must intervene. Humanity's defiance of galactic laws has reached intolerable levels. Your misuse of planetary resources, your disregard for interstellar etiquette, and your relentless dissemination of cat videos have brought us to this point." At this, the room erupted into laughter. The Secretary-General grinned, leaning into the microphone. "Ah, the cat videos. Truly, our greatest weapon. Perhaps we should have led with those." The ambassador's silver skin seemed to shimmer darker, a sign of his growing agitation. "This is a serious declaration. The Zyxenari Empire does not engage in idle threats. Our fleets are poised to strike, and your civilization will be brought to its knees unless you submit to our demands." The Secretary-General raised an eyebrow. "Demands, you say? Let me guess, no more cat videos, less sarcasm, and maybe a subscription to your intergalactic newsletter." The room dissolved into laughter once more, the tension of the ambassador's arrival eroding under the weight of Earth's irreverence. The alien leader's frustration grew evident as he struggled to regain control of the narrative. His entourage exchanged uneasy glances, their composure faltering in the face of humanity's unconventional response. This mockery will not go unanswered, the ambassador bellowed, his voice cracking slightly. The Zixinari Empire will show no mercy. Prepare yourselves for annihilation. The Secretary General's tone shifted slightly, a blend of humor and diplomacy. Ambassador Kalzar, we appreciate your concerns, but perhaps a war isn't the best way to address them. Why not a friendly debate? Or better yet, a dance-off? We've got some excellent choreographers on Earth. The suggestion, absurd as it was, drew applause and laughter from the assembly. The ambassador looked to his entourage, his composure crumbling under the weight of Earth's peculiar approach to intergalactic diplomacy. This is not how negotiations are conducted, he snapped. The Secretary General leaned forward, his voice calm but laced with amusement. But you see, Ambassador, this is Earth. We've never been particularly good at following someone else's playbook. But tell you what, why don't you take a moment to regroup? Maybe watch a few cat videos, they're surprisingly therapeutic. As the laughter echoed through the chamber, the ambassador's expression darkened. He turned on his heel, his cape swishing dramatically as he stormed out of the hall, his entourage trailing behind. The doors closed with a resounding thud, leaving the assembly in a mix of relief and amusement. The Secretary General sat back down, a smirk tugging at his lips. Well, that was fun. Anyone up for pizza? The delegates burst into laughter, the weight of the alien threat momentarily forgotten. The stage was set, not for a traditional war of weapons and destruction, but for a battle unlike any the galaxy had ever seen, a war of humor, wits, and memes. The moment the Grand Ambassador stormed out of the United Nations General Assembly, the world was abuzz. Social media platforms exploded with videos, memes, and commentary, turning what should have been a serious diplomatic crisis into the biggest internet spectacle in human history. The hashtag #ZixinariShowdown trended worldwide within hours, accompanied by an avalanche of GIFs, videos, and memes mocking the ambassador's dramatic cape swish, his pompous declaration, and of course the infamous line about cat videos. Governments, realizing that this unconventional form of communication was Earth's strongest asset, began organizing efforts to harness the chaos. A coalition of global leaders convened a top-secret meeting, not to discuss traditional defense strategies, but to create what would soon become humanity's most unorthodox military division. They called it the Meme Warfare Division. The Meme Warfare Division was a ragtag assembly of comedians, internet influencers, animators, and digital artists, handpicked for their ability to create viral content. Its headquarters, tucked away in an unassuming building in Silicon Valley, buzzed with energy as its recruits brainstormed their first moves. They were given one directive: unleash the full force of Earth's humor on the Zixinari Empire. The first salvo was launched within days. The division hacked into the Zixinari's official broadcast channels, replacing their solemn interstellar propaganda with a montage of Earth's most absurd internet content. Aliens across the Empire watched in bewilderment as their screens were flooded with synchronized dance challenges, auto-tuned remixes of the ambassador's declaration, and a recurring video of a cat dressed as the ambassador, complete with a miniature cape and a booming voice demanding galactic order. The response was immediate. Across Earth, people joined the effort, creating their own memes, videos, and pranks. Social media became a battlefield, with civilians contributing their creativity to the war effort. One particularly popular trend involved humans reenacting the ambassador's speech in exaggerated alien costumes, complete with toy capes and ridiculous accents. The Cape Flip Challenge became an overnight sensation, with participants competing to see who could replicate the ambassador's dramatic exit with the most flair. The Zixinari leadership, accustomed to rigid hierarchies and solemn decorum, found themselves utterly unprepared for this onslaught of absurdity. Their attempts to counter Earth's humor only made things worse. Official responses denouncing humanity's immaturity were quickly turned into memes themselves, with Earth's internet users captioning the alien statements with lines like, "When your mom says no more screen time." Even more damaging were the remixes. The Meme Warfare Division had discovered that Zixanari broadcasts used a unique frequency that resonated deeply within their culture. The division took this frequency and incorporated it into comedic songs and videos, ensuring maximum reach within the alien empire. What began as harmless trolling soon escalated into a full-blown cultural invasion. Younger Zixanari citizens, who had previously been indoctrinated with imperial propaganda, started embracing Earth's humor. They began sharing human memes among themselves, much to the horror of their elders. The turning point came when a group of young Zixanari started their own dance challenge, inspired by Earth's trends. Videos of aliens awkwardly attempting the Cape Flip challenge went viral, causing massive embarrassment within the Empire's upper echelons. The alien emperor himself issued a stern decree forbidding any interaction with Earth's content, but it was too late. The humor had already taken root. The Meme Warfare Division, emboldened by their success, took things further. They developed prank campaigns that directly targeted the Zixanari leadership. One operation involved hacking into the Emperor's private holographic messaging system, replacing his official communiques with looping clips of Earthlings imitating his stern expressions and formal speeches. Another prank turned the ambassador's ship's landing sequence into a colorful light show, accompanied by Earth's most infamous pop songs. These antics had a profound psychological effect on the Zixanari. Their once unshakable dignity began to crumble. The ambassador, who had been so confident in his declaration of war, now found himself the subject of countless parodies. His frustration grew with each new meme, his authority eroding under the weight of Earth's relentless creativity. Reports emerged of alien officials resigning in disgrace after their faces were featured in Earth's viral alien roast sessions, a series of comedy sketches mocking their stoic demeanor. The alien emperor convened an emergency council to address the crisis, but even this meeting was not safe from Earth's influence. The Meme Warfare Division had anticipated the gathering and released a viral video titled 10 Ways Aliens Can Chill Out, which included clips of meditation techniques, Earth's funniest bloopers, and of course more cat videos. The timing was impeccable, and the video found its way into the Emperor's chambers just as the council was beginning. The younger members of the Empire's leadership couldn't help but laugh, further undermining the gravity of the situation. What had started as an unconventional defense mechanism had spiraled into a cultural revolution. Earth's humor was not only protecting the planet from invasion but also dismantling the very fabric of the Zixanari's rigid societal structure. The Meme Warfare Division monitored the Empire's broadcasts, noting a growing divide between the older generation, desperate to maintain order, and the younger generation, enamored with Earth's absurdity. As the chaos unfolded, humanity reveled in its collective victory. Ordinary citizens, armed with smartphones and internet connections, had become soldiers in a war of wit. Each new meme, prank, or video was a small act of resistance, a declaration that Earth's spirit could not be broken. The alien ambassador, once a figure of fear and authority, had become a symbol of humanity's triumph. His image, now immortalized in countless memes, served as a reminder of the power of creativity and humor. The Zixanari Empire had underestimated Earth's ability to turn even the gravest threats into a punchline, and in doing so, they had inadvertently ignited a cultural movement that no force in the galaxy could suppress. The effects of Earth's humor rippled across the Zixanari Empire, growing far beyond the expectations of anyone, human or alien. The cultural invasion that had begun as a joke had now become a phenomenon. Younger generations of Zixanari, captivated by the novelty and irreverence of Earth's internet culture, started to adopt human memes, phrases, and even mannerisms. Galactic communication networks buzzed with snippets of human humor, from sarcastic one-liners to exaggerated cat videos, spreading faster than the Empire could suppress them. On Zixanari colony worlds, young aliens mimicked Earthling behaviors, giving themselves human-sounding nicknames and exchanging modified memes that blended their culture with Earth's absurdities. The more the elders condemned this behavior, the more appealing it became. Public assemblies, once solemn and orderly, were increasingly interrupted by poorly stifled laughter as attendees shared memes on their hidden devices. Alien slang evolved overnight, with phrases like "it's not that deep," "bro," and "keep calm," and "cape flip" becoming common among the youth. The Emperor, watching from his sprawling throne room aboard the Imperial mothership, grew increasingly agitated. Reports of disciplinary failures poured in daily, describing young Zixanari officers openly mocking their superiors or sharing viral Earth content during training exercises. His most trusted advisors, pillars of the Empire's old order, struggled to maintain control. However, even among his inner circle, cracks were beginning to show. It started subtly. An otherwise grim council meeting was interrupted when an advisor mistakenly referenced a human meme while discussing strategy. The room fell silent, the air thick with tension, until another advisor snorted in barely contained laughter. It was a small incident, but it planted a seed of doubt in the Emperor's mind. If even his closest confidants could not resist the pull of Earth's humor, what hope did the Empire have of maintaining its rigidity? As these moments became more frequent, the Emperor began to observe his court more closely. Advisors who had once delivered stern reports now seemed distracted, their expressions betraying amusement at unspoken jokes. One day, during a particularly tense meeting about the Empire's declining morale, an advisor absent-mindedly muttered, "This is giving big final boss energy," a human phrase that had no context in Zixanari culture, but had gained traction among the younger population. The room erupted into uneasy laughter, and the Emperor's composure wavered for the first time. Meanwhile, outside the walls of power, the rebellion was brewing. What had started as casual defiance among the youth had evolved into a full-fledged grassroots movement. Self-proclaimed Memlord aliens, inspired by Earth's humor, began organizing secret gatherings where they shared and created new memes. These gatherings, once small and clandestine, grew into massive events attended by thousands. Entire cities became hotbeds of mimetic resistance, their walls adorned with holographic graffiti mocking imperial figures and spreading Earth-inspired jokes. The Memlords had no central leadership, but their influence spread like wildfire. They hacked into Imperial communication channels, replacing propaganda with remix videos and satirical broadcasts. One particularly infamous stunt involved broadcasting a looping clip of the Emperor tripping over his cape during a formal event, overlaid with Earth-style commentary and laugh tracks. It became an instant hit, even among mid-ranking officials who were supposed to enforce the Emperor's decrees. The rebellion wasn't limited to humor. The Memlords began incorporating Earth's values of individuality and creativity into their ideology, questioning the rigid hierarchies and conformity that defined Zixanari society. They argued that the Empire's strict control stifled innovation and progress, pointing to humanity's chaotic but vibrant culture as proof that diversity and humor could coexist with strength. The Emperor, increasingly isolated, struggled to understand what was happening to his empire. His advisors proposed harsher crackdowns, but these only fueled the rebellion. Entire units of the Imperial fleet defected, their crews uploading videos of themselves performing Earth-inspired dance challenges while renouncing their loyalty to the Emperor. Even within the palace, loyalty was no longer guaranteed. Servants and guards were caught smuggling memes into restricted areas, and rumors spread of high-ranking officials secretly sympathizing with the Memlords. One fateful day, the Emperor summoned his most trusted advisor for counsel. The advisor, a stern and disciplined alien who had served the Empire for decades, hesitated before speaking. "Your Excellency," he began, his voice measured. "Perhaps the problem is not the humans, but us. Their humor has exposed flaws in our system: rigidity, intolerance, a lack of understanding for those who think differently. Maybe We have something to learn from them." The Emperor stared at him, his expression unreadable. For a long moment the room was silent. Then, in a rare display of vulnerability, the Emperor sighed. "Do you think they laugh at me? Or with me?" he asked quietly, his voice devoid of its usual authority. The advisor paused, choosing his words carefully. "Perhaps both, Excellency. But laughter can be a bridge, not just a weapon." This conversation marked a turning point. The Emperor began to question the foundations of his rule, wondering if his pursuit of control had blinded him to the possibility of connection. He started attending meetings with mimlords who had infiltrated his court, not as an adversary, but as a curious observer. To his surprise, he found their humor disarming and their arguments compelling. Their ability to critique authority through satire resonated with a part of him he hadn't realized existed, a part that longed for something more than order. The mimlords, emboldened by the Emperor's curiosity, proposed a bold idea: a cultural exchange with Earth, not as enemies, but as equals. They argued that humor had already transformed the Empire in ways no military conquest ever could, and embracing this transformation was the only path forward. To everyone's shock, the Emperor agreed. Word of the Emperor's decision spread quickly, and the Empire erupted in celebration. On Earth, the news was met with equal parts relief and amusement. The Meme Warfare Division declared victory, releasing a final meme that depicted the Emperor doing a cape flip, accompanied by the caption, "When you realize laughter is the ultimate weapon." The rebellion had succeeded, not through violence, but through the power of creativity and connection. The Zixinari Empire, once a bastion of rigid control, had been forever changed, and in the process Earth had proven that sometimes the best way to win a war is to make the enemy laugh. The decision to reach out for peace came not with a grand proclamation, but in a quiet moment of self-reflection. The Emperor, once the symbol of unyielding authority, found himself watching yet another Earth video that had somehow made its way onto his private holoscreen. It was simple, just a compilation of humans slipping on ice while laughing at themselves, but it struck a chord. For the first time in decades, the Emperor chuckled, a low, unfamiliar sound that startled even him. He summoned his advisors, this time not to plot a counterattack, but to discuss the possibility of peace. The idea was met with hesitation, even disbelief, but the Emperor's resolve was clear. "We have underestimated them," he said, his voice firm but laced with an unexpected warmth. "Not their weapons, nor their intelligence, but their spirit. They've taught us something no empire has dared to teach: how to laugh at ourselves." The announcement of peace talks sent ripples across the galaxy. On Earth, the reaction was a mix of triumph and cautious optimism. The Meme Warfare Division immediately went to work, crafting a series of humorous but respectful memes to mark the occasion. "From roast to reconciliation" became the unofficial tagline, paired with images of the Emperor shaking hands with Earth's Secretary General, albeit photoshopped for comedic effect. The peace talks took place on a neutral space station orbiting a distant star. The setting, with its sterile halls and pristine decor, stood in stark contrast to the atmosphere of the meetings. The Emperor arrived without the usual pomp and ceremony, his once intimidating cape replaced by a simpler, more practical robe. Across the table sat the Secretary General, his characteristic smirk tempered by a genuine desire to find common ground. The initial discussions were, surprisingly, filled with laughter. The Secretary General broke the ice with a well-timed joke about intergalactic capes, which the Emperor not only appreciated but added to with a quip of his own. The talks soon evolved into a series of light-hearted exchanges punctuated by serious deliberations. For every discussion on interstellar trade or mutual defense, there was a moment of shared humor, a meme shown, a joke told, a story exchanged. As the days passed, the Emperor began to open up, recounting tales of his own missteps and misunderstandings, much to the delight of the Earth delegation. These moments of vulnerability became the foundation of the treaty, one that would not only end the war but establish a new era of cultural exchange. At the heart of the agreement was the recognition of Earth's unique contribution to the galaxy humor as a unifying force. With the treaty signed, the real work began. The Zix-Cenari Empire, once the epitome of formality and rigidity, embarked on a transformation that would reshape its identity. Earth became the epicenter of this cultural revolution, its artists, comedians, and entertainers welcomed into the empire with open arms. Alien cities that had once been bastions of solemnity were soon adorned with Earth-inspired theaters, holographic comedy clubs, and interactive meme museums. The Meme Warfare Division, having completed its mission, transitioned into a new role as Earth's official ambassadors of humor. They worked closely with Zix-Cenari memolords, co-creating content that celebrated the quirks of both cultures. Joint comedy shows became intergalactic sensations, drawing audiences from across the galaxy. One standout program, Laughs Across the Stars, featured humans and aliens performing stand-up routines, often poking fun at each other's stereotypes and bridging divides through shared laughter. On Earth, the impact of this cultural exchange was equally profound. Humans marveled at the Zix-Cenari's unique take on humor, which combined their intricate traditions with the spontaneity of Earth's internet culture. Collaborative projects flourished, from animated films to experimental holographic performances. The two species found common ground, not only in their shared appreciation for humor but also in their mutual curiosity and creativity. The Emperor himself became an unexpected symbol of this new era. He made a surprise appearance on Laughs Across the Stars, where he performed a self-deprecating routine about his infamous Cape Flip incident. The audience, both human and alien, erupted into applause, their laughter a testament to the Emperor's transformation. For many, this moment marked the true end of the war, a leader once defined by his sternness now embracing the very thing he had sought to suppress. As the years passed, the Zix-Cenari Empire evolved into a hub of intergalactic entertainment. Its rigid hierarchies gave way to vibrant communities where creativity and humor thrived. Earth, once seen as a backwater planet, became a cultural ambassador to the stars, its contributions reshaping the galaxy's perception of art, communication, and connection. The alliance between the two worlds, forged in the fires of a meme war, became a beacon of hope for other civilizations facing their own struggles. Reflecting on this transformation, the Secretary-General addressed the United Nations General Assembly, his tone both humorous and heartfelt. "We set out to defend ourselves against an invasion," he said, "and somehow ended up changing the galaxy. Not with weapons, but with laughter. Who would have thought that cat videos and dance challenges would save the world?" The assembly erupted into applause, but the Secretary-General wasn't finished. "Humor," he continued, "isn't just a distraction. It's a way of seeing the world differently, of finding common ground where none seems to exist. It reminds us that no matter how different we are, we all share the same capacity to laugh, to connect, and to grow." Back on the Emperor's mothership, he watched a replay of the speech, a small smile playing on his lips. Nearby, a young Zix-Cenari officer showed him a new meme, one that playfully reimagined the Emperor as a stand-up comedian touring the galaxy. The Emperor laughed, a deep and genuine sound that filled the room. For humanity and the Zix-Cenari, the war had ended not with destruction, but with creation. Together they had proven that the greatest victories are not those won with force, but those achieved by bridging divides and celebrating what makes us uniquely and wonderfully alive.